If we are back streaming, I believe that we are. So I'm very sorry about that. It did sign me out of Xbox Live, which is very unfortunate. Or we had an error, or whatever it may have said. But we are back, and I believe we're still into Q1. How many minutes do we have left?
Q1 has just
Rubens?
finished, actually. So unfortunately,
Just
we did miss the
How
end of it. I'll just give you a quick. I'll just give you a quick rundown as you load in. Millsy out in 16th, 17th Quirky Turtle in the house, 18th Blazer Guns in the Avataria, 19th Koala. The top 15 separated by 3.5. Hence Cooper Benz top the session on a 103.392, and we are just heading into Q2 now.
Absolutely amazing. And I think what I'm going to do is wait until it is going to say Q2, due to the fact that when I press spectating, it said that it was no longer in session. So what I'm going to do is wait until it loads into Q2, so then I can try and get back into the game then. No worries, it's already automatically done that for me. This game, sometimes it's getting what, a year old now? It's losing its touch. Is everything all right on the stream?
Yeah, my orders included. I was just checking that as well. Quake RS, I need to invite him back in as well. Where is that?
Very sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be in there soon. There we go. And we're into Q2. So a little bit like 2 weeks ago, I believe, when me and Mr. Easton was streaming, and we missed Q1 fully, and then we just started with Q2. But this time, a little bit more better. You saw a little bit of Q1, and you know, so hopefully we don't have any more interruptions like that. Welcome and thank you for joining us, the 16 viewers that are here today. Obviously, engineers, if there are any engineers that are watching, do a good job for your team, and I hope that you can get what you need. And then obviously for the viewers who are just here for the entertainment of the Division 3 races and also our beautiful commentary, welcome.
Why
you decided to join us today?
Something I've already just noticed, Alco, from Q1 to Q2. Look at the clouds. They have massively gathered. Very dark clouds as well. We might have some rain on the horizon. We don't know whether there is, of course, which is something next game I would love to have. If you could spectate, you can see the weather, or the thing you get in the garage, like
with the predicted strategy, instead of they'll do also predicted weather.
Yeah,
maybe
or percentage or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spooky is about to take a lap. Do you want to take us on board?
That is very true. Yeah, sure. He activates DRS. He also puts it into hot lap. He's going down the start-finish straight. He's going wide. He doesn't want to cut that corner too much, or the turn 2 corner, due to the fact that could eliminate his lap due to invalidation. He's coming up to turn 3 now. He wants to obviously hit that little curb, and then Hoy also wants to go slow on the entry and then fast on the exit, which he has done. He activates DRS. He's getting a little bit of stream there from Eyes the Best, who allows him to, doesn't really move out of the way. He then comes down to the slow right-hand downhill. Nicely coming out of that corner there. He's going down the tricky left-hander here. This always catches me out. He doesn't want to hit the curb too much, and then you want to slightly go over these few curbs here and chicanes. Very nicely done. He's coming up to the 2 penultimate corners here. He goes nicely down the right fast-hander hill. He comes to the very last corner. Oh, a little bit of a front thingy, what is it called? Overspin steer thing.
You got that.
Comes to the start finish line, and there's a 1 minute 4.5 on the mediums compound, which is not too bad. I butchered that lap, unfortunately. I normally let my second commentators do it, due to the fact that I normally know that I'll do bad. And then Stretch, straight behind him, does a 1 minute 4.5, only 300ths away from each other. Is this how close we are going to be?
It's Austria, and the combination of how close Tier 3 is, yes. Strategy looking at this now. Obviously, a lot of people from this tier would have been looking at yesterday's stream in F2, the strategy they did. Also, I took particular interest as well. One stop is doable, softs to mediums, but you have to be supremely good on your tyre wear and be very lucky, because you have to get a minimum 19 laps out of mediums. Now, I saw someone with a puncher of 19 laps. So it is one of those things. In terms of qualifying, it's camo! Oh. That wasn't a spin. I thought that was a spin. That was actually... No, I'm going to late dive into the pits there.
Well, the Mr. Eyes and Mr. Eagle on the first soft runners 2 set a lap have done both a 1:03. Eagle's done a 1:36, while the Eyes the Best has done a 1:38. So that is 2/10 away. Eyes seems to may have messed up his lap there. Swift Joey now is going to be coming up to the two penultimate last corners. He's coming up to the last corner now. Goes nicely through that corner, and he's coming up to the start finish. He activates DRS. He's got 40% ERS, and he goes a 1:04.3. The fastest runners on the mediums in the Ferrari there.
Now, I said yesterday, if anybody gets through on the mediums this week, I'll virtually take my hat off. I don't have a hat on, but I'll virtually take it off, because you saw how close it was in Q1, Alco, or 3.5 tenths, covering 15 as Renault nearly connects with. I
did see that. That was the toxic. And
he did collide on my screen. He didn't. 5-place grid penalty.
But it's Quaker who got that.
Let me just check. Yeah, it's Quaker right. So, okay, so Toxic hit Quaker, but Quaker gets the penalty.
You've got to love this game. It's like in the safety car as well. You know, like when the safety car's in the race, if someone hits you from behind, you both get the penalty for severe collision. It honestly makes no sense.
So the lap from Braver, 103.4 on the soft tyres. He should be safely through. He's done 2 laps on them now, which
I believe
I would not recommend.
His first one, not necessarily. Obviously, if he's been doing very slow
first lap, then
yeah, definitely. Due to the fact that obviously he did invalidate, so he could have savoured the tyres. But once again, even going slow round the track, you can still lose around about 2 to 3%, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean Swift Joey is an interesting one, because he is a reserve driver, I believe, in the Ferrari, reserving for AMS Matty. That must be, unless it's the same gamer tag, unless we don't really know. But I believe it's a different person. He's just reserving. He was very quick in Q1, topped the session, and is very quick here. But I don't think he's going to go through on that time, even though it is impressive for 4.3 on the mediums. They're just too slow compared to the softs. They're interesting race tyre. They're a good race tyre, but in terms of qualifying and outright, lap pace, don't think they're going to do it. I think the only way you're going to get mediums through to Q3 this week is if everyone goes on mediums, or a lot.
Yeah, that is
too many will go on softs.
It is very true, and it also Toxic's also coming up to the line. And he did a 1:04.7. What I was going to say about the medium runners as well, everyone, like, you'll see around about at the start of Q2, you'll always see a big mixture, as I believe Spooky goes, who just got their time up there, I don't know who it was. It was Camo
3.5
with a 1:03.5. Yeah, it was very good from him.
Sainz was 3.7 in 6th.
Oh, where's that? Oh, yeah, Sainz. Obviously, Sainz saying that he was obviously confident around this track. Hopefully, that's just one of his bankers, and he's got, he's still 7 minutes to go. But with the Shane's obviously confident. He's
that's very confident on 3.5.
Very. To say that we're wishing to see at least high 2s as well.
No, I just said I wouldn't be surprised if anyone gets into a high 2, but I don't think
be surprised, or wouldn't.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it would only be like 1 or 2 that maybe might sneak into it. Yeah.
Musical Rocket's going a 1:03.5, putting him to 4th place, just below Shane, with only a 100th away from each other. Maybe not even that. No, 700. No, is it 100th? 100th? No.
It goes 10th, 100th, thousandths. So
yeah. It's very true. It's just that I said leader and it said 700ths, so it's legit less than a tenth from first to fourth, and then it goes into a tenth on fifth and onwards.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely madness. That's absolutely madness.
Yeah, and you can see, Gasly's left. Let me just jumping back in. As you can see, though, Swift Joey, the highest on the media, is already 9th place. So I think they're going to have to go on soft tyres, and I believe they're doing so at the moment.
Yeah, I believe so. He's already on,
about to start one.
I believe he's already on a lap. Now, Mr. Michael, Mr. Brundle, now Mr. Rubens.
Yes, go on.
Like so many different agendas, it's amazing. But yeah, you said, I believe in a previous live stream, that when you spectate someone, the purple is their PB, not making it faster than the actual provisional pole runner. Is that correct? Because
that is, Joey, very harsh invalidation, but that is what it is. I think he was just over all 4 tyres. Yes,
1 minute
because
3.9.
Yeah, I figured it out like earlier on in the season because someone pointed it out, and I checked on the race director whether it was the fastest sector, and it wasn't. So the purple is the best the driver has got in that sector.
Right, okay, yeah. It's just like, like sometimes...
like Quick Race has gone quickest middle sector. Let me just check that out.
has gone quickest. Yeah, I just saw that as well. Because obviously when I've raced my races and then like I've gone purple, I've been... Oh, what's going on here?
That's not the line.
Brake failure. Brake failure for the AlphaTauris, yeah. I was the best, also invalidated. A lot of invalidations today. Spooky coming onto his lap. So obviously you've looked into it in depth. Now, obviously, when I've been racing and when I've gone purple, I've gone to the top of the timesheet, and that's like halfway through. So do you think it's a little bit like on and off? By the way, Spooky 3/10 up on his personal best. So do you think it may be a mixture of both, or do you think it's dead on just normal? It's just your PB.
All I'm saying is I've seen like people go purple, set to 1, 2, and then they don't go top. That's all I'm saying with it. And they don't make a mistake in the last sector. Like, for example, Spooky's just gone purple, although there is 9 tenths up. So yeah, you could be right. I think it's not there all the way through. And to be fair, would you expect from Codemasters to be completely right 100%?
Yeah, it's definitely true.
There comes Spooky anyway.
Spooky does come up to the line, and there we go. He gets top, which is a 1 minute 3.3, which is 1/10 faster than what Braver did. Braver is obviously already retired, so he shall not be able to fight back, unfortunately. Maybe he just doesn't want to, get those fresh softs. He's already done 2 laps, so he doesn't really want to do more on them. Sainz is coming up with his lap, and he will be, let's have a look, see if it tells me, or have I missed? Yeah, I've already missed how much he's up by time. He's coming up to the last sector here, last corner here.
He's just down on his BB, unless third sector is good.
Oh, he's a 10th up. There we go, and he jumps up to 4th on with a 1 minute 3.5. I think that'll be enough for him to retire, unless if he does want to go for that, to show that dominance.
He completely aced that last sector. The 2 at the top, Spooky and Braver, were 19.2. He hit a 19.0 in the last sector. So nailed those last 2 corners.
Very much. And like I said, if you get that set up and you get those 2 corners when you're going downhill and then also coming up to that last corner to the start finish, if you nail it, then there you go. You can really gain time and beat your opponents on the field. Oh, a big lock up there from Stretch, trying to go round the Red Bull while on a lap. I don't know if the stewards will look at that, but if not, then that's perfectly fine. The Red Bull was out of the way, but you know, it may have caused Stretch to lock up there just a tiny bit. But he is purple in the second sector there. Now, obviously, like I said, it's on and off. Could be PB, could be the actual fastest sector of the, you know, on the track of the race.
Cooper Ben's top.
Cooper Benz with a 1 minute 3.3. Now Stretch is coming with a 1 minute 3.4. Unfortunately, does not get Cooper Benz, but pushes Braver down.
Gassie's a validator. He got Swift Joey's on a lap as well, 2/10 up. End of first sector. All those outside the top 10 are on laps on soft tyres.
Unfortunately, Gasly did invalidate as he does come across the line there. Teammate getting out of the way for Swift Joe there. That's absolutely amazing. Is Swift Joe able to... We've seen a lot of people bottle it coming down this little hill here. Is he going to bottle it himself? No, he doesn't. He gets on just a curb rightly, and he does. Too much curb. Into the last corner there. Takes out the DRS sign there as well.
He's in trouble because he's going to be compromised to start this next lap. Yeah, I think he's out.
Very slowly.
He's out.
No, I think he's trying to get that like race start kind of thing. Is he going to go into hot lap? He doesn't go into hot lap.
No, it's done. It's done because he went so far wide. It compromised the beginning of his next lap, so there was no point. So yeah, Joey's out.
Eagle's coming up to the line. Eagle's going to be going only
10th. He stayed 10th. He didn't move. I was looking at his name. I was like, why didn't he move up?
He did. He was minus. I don't know if it was a minus 100. I don't know if it was 100ths up or 1,000ths up.
Baker goes to 6th. Shane is 10th on the bubble.
Shane is on the bubble, and who is going to maybe deny Shane to get into Q3, and that's going to be Eyes the Best. Is Eyes the Best able to shut out that Renault, that banana car as people like to call it, and he's going to... No, unfortunately not. But I tell you who does, it's DPS Racing in the Ferrari. 9th place with a 1 minute 3.5, who pushes Shane out. Absolutely amazing.
Eagle is the last person on the lap. If he improves enough, he will knock Sainz, the championship leader, to 11th place. He's going to find a 10th and a bit. Does he do enough?
Does he?
No. Sainz goes through.
700ths up.
Sainz, look how close. Goes through by 0.004 of a second to Shane. Look how close. You got DPS.
Amazing. DPS only 100ths away in front.
So you got Camo, DPS, Sainz, Shane, all covered by 15,000ths of a second. That's practically nothing. That's like a centimetre. 3 are in, 4 are out. No, 3 are in, 1 is out.
That is absolutely amazing close racing, or at least times. And we all know that Division 3 are close with their racing as well. They like to rub a little bit of tyres, but then also leave space at the same time. That, you know, they give that courtesy, which is absolutely amazing to see. So rounding Q2, so the people who we have lost, unfortunately, is in 11th place, RSF1 Shane in the Renault with a 1 minute 3.5. In 12th place is Eagle 78 in the Mercedes with a 1 minute 3.6. In 13th place is Eyes the Best of the Red Bull of a 1 minute 3.8. In 14th is Swift Joey in the Ferrari on the mediums. And then 15 is SSLR Gasly in the McLaren. Rounding the top 3 of Q2 is going to be Cooper Benz in the Racing Point, Go Racing Point, my team, with 1 minute for 3.3. Second place is going to be Spooky in the McLaren with 1 minute 3.3, and then Muscle in the I did not see because it went off, which is really annoying.
Musical.
Thank you. Oh, musical is it?
I'm pretty sure it's musical, not Muscle Rocket.
I just saw I saw MUS and I just automatically assumed it was Muscle.
Muscle Rocket. That's his new name. Yes. Muscle Rocket. Right,
absolutely amazing there.
Q3, based on Q1 and especially Q2, that was 2.5 tenths covering 12 of them.
Yeah.
Wow, this Q3, this could be anybody's. We could see ridiculously close times if everybody nails it, because this is where Alco. Obviously, you know, being in Q3 a few times, I think yourself, that I haven't been in there for a while, actually, to be honest, since I've joined F1. But
I think most times, to be honest. I don't
yeah,
think I think the only time when I've not been in Q3 so far is when I've not turned up, or if I've, yeah, that's it. I think. Don't jinx me though.
yeah, but you know, in Q3, this is where you leave nothing on the table. This is where you absolutely push completely. And around here, this is where, obviously, track limits come into play. This is where you're going to see a lot of people playing with the track limits, going on curbs, widening up the corners. You've got to hook up your major lap. It's going to be 2 tenths, maybe 3 tenths covering the entire field. One mistake, you could end up bottom end of the top 10 rather than the top.
Yeah, that is very true. And obviously, these drivers, in their own time, and in their spare time, maybe do time trials as well as doing practice with other drivers who are free to do so to get their race strategy sorted. And then obviously in Q1 and in Q2 they get those kind of track limits to the point, so then they're ready for Q3 so that they can get it spot on. Do you wish to take us through with Cooper Benz, as I absolutely would not do good?
I'll jump. As let me who's starting a lap stretch. Last week's winner.
Coops, I think. First one.
Oh, never mind. I'm trying to pick on someone who's about to start a lap. DPS. There we go. From the beginning of the lap. Sorry to confuse you, but on board a DPS right now as he goes across the start-finish line up towards the hill of turn 1. Does he wind in the curve a bit? He does, but it does mess up your braking a little bit, and you got a little bit of a slide through the first corner. That's the risk of extending that corner. It's the quickest way around there, but it is very risky doing so. Turn 2 is technically that left-hand kink there. Into the right-hand hairpin of turn 3. Careful of the traction on the exit of the corner. That can be very difficult, especially if we run no traction, which some people do. I don't personally have a medium. Down into turn number 4. Downhill can be very, very tricky, especially with the curbs. Can bounce the car. Turn 5, this long apex left-hander, very, very bumpy, but you want to carry the speed, and then again through turn 6 and 7. Very careful with the curbs. It's a clean lap from DPS. Is it going to be a quick one? Of course, he made that mistake in turn 1. Now into the final 2 corners, fin the car in, hope it sticks, but it doesn't, which is very unfortunate. Cooper Benz, though,
very unfortunate,
has topped with a 3.3, which is right up there with the fastest we've seen.
That is very true, and I believe the next one is going to be the Haas of Braver Container, and he has invalidated, unfortunately, so the next one is going to be Camo. Yeah, and he's not invalidated, and he's got 90% ERS. I don't really understand that, but he does go a 1 minute 7.8, which is obviously, it would make sense with the reason why he's got 90% ERS, clearly. Maybe a bank lap, or he had to slow down to let someone else through, maybe to not jeopardize both of their qualifying laps. I believe so. The next one, I believe, is going to be Stretch, who is
validated.
No, who is that? Is that Musical? Yeah, who is also invalidated. They must be invalidated in the second sector here.
Yes, as I said, they're all pushing the track limits, and this is where all the invalidations are going to crop up. But here comes DPS around the last corner. Gets it clean this time.
Baker does go 1 minute 3.5, and then DPS just comes straight back at him with a 1 minute 3.4. Absolutely amazing there. Only a tenth away from Cooper Benz, and also Quaker Oats only being a tenth away also from DPS.
Here comes Camo. Oh, very close to the last corner, and 3.5 goes third.
Knocks Quaker Oats down even more, unfortunately. Quaker Oats won't be happy with that. Hopefully he can bite back. I believe the next one will be Musical again. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate this one.
Sainz went to 5th, a 3.5, same as Camo, but 2 places behind him. Or Musical.
Obviously. Oh no, that's catching a lot of people out, isn't it? Those 2 last corners there.
It's a very fine line. To go quick, you've got to fling the car in the first part and hope it sticks, and then carry the speed through.
Braver coming into the 3rd sector invalidates it on the right-hand side curb there, unfortunately. Coming to the fast left, the fast double left, I guess you could call it, and then the fast swinging right. A little bit like Melbourne's in Sector 2. Coming into Sector 3.
Cooper Benz, I think I can see what Cooper Benz is doing, because if you manage your tyres well in qualifying, you can have 3 runs on this because of how short this track is. He's already obviously set his provisional pole lap of a 3-3, and he's back out again to try and improve on it. And if he has another set, he can go again.
You very much can. He's obviously got 5 minutes 50 to go, coming up to 5 minutes 40. The laps are legit nearly on the borderlines of 1 minute 2. So you know it's you can fit
Cooper
in
Benz,
at least
10th and a half up.
Absolutely amazing.
Nailed the traction out of turn 3.
He really did. Like no wheel spin, no kind of oversteer or understeer at all. Hopefully he can not lock up anywhere else. He goes a little bit wide. Oh no, commentator's curse. I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
Damage. That'll most likely be orange, near on borderline red.
He's a lucky boy.
Very, to be honest. That could have took his whole wheel off. That is very unfortunate for Cooper Benz, but he does keep provisional pole for now, and then he can come in, pit, put on those new set of softs, and then go out again to solidate that provisional pole.
See, that's the ups and downs of F1. He absolutely nailed the traction out of turn 3. It's clearly running no traction because then he was too eager on the throttle the very next corner, and well, we saw the results. But lucky guy, he's managed to keep going, and as I said before, he's got plenty of time to go in, get another set of tyres and back out again. The clouds are really gathering. There's no rain.
I was just about to say, is it me where it's getting more darker now, especially into Sector 3 behind the tree line?
Yeah, tucks it. Too far on the inside,
no. I believe behind him is going to be Musical. Toxic does get out of the way, luckily, but then there's Musical getting out of the way for the Alpha Tauri there of Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats is a 10th up on his time, nearly 2 tenths up while he continues into Sector 2, coming into the slow right-hander. Going downhill, he does take that line nicely. Didn't do what Cooper Benz did, where it was too much curb and then too much throttle. Absolutely amazing from Quaker Oats there. Now, obviously, if he was a 10th up in the second sector, now 2 tenths up, borderline 2.5, that would make him at least second place here. Nearly, if he nails the last sectors and the last corners, he could take provisional pole from Cooper Benz. He's now coming up to the start-finish straight, activates DRS, and he does!
Nice!
He takes provisional pole with a 1 minute 3.2, which is dead on, nearly a 10th away from Cooper Benz there. And obviously, like you said, Cooper Benz is responding.
Demo's having another crack. He's coming to the end of the last corner. Improves slightly, stays 4th.
Also,
Braver the 5th.
Coming in. Sainz does not improve. He was a 10th down. It's not good by the championship leader. Obviously, maybe, do you think he's going full send? He did say that obviously he was confident around this track, or is he confident by strategy? Being in that
confident with pace, so, it's just a general thing that I've seen him do well at this track. Could be the pressure though. He is championship leader after all. He may have a good gap, but he is a target after all. They're all chasing him. So the competitiveness, maybe it's so quick and close from these guys at the moment.
So Musical Rocket finally sets his lap with only 2 minutes to go, and it is only good enough for P9 of a 1 minute 3.7, just right behind the McLaren of Spooky, who is on another lap.
Sainz, here we go, crossing the line now. Second.
Hey. So he's just ate my words right out of it, and he's like, no, I can hear you from the heavens, and I'll prove you both wrong.
Look how dark it is. How is it not raining?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe now we've had a lot of we've had a lot of wet Jesus, wet races. We've had a lot of them.
Spooky. The fourth.
Goes P4.
Stretch.
Nice.
Starting a lap.
Starting a lap is Toxic. Doing another lap. No, he's backed out. Camo and Musical.
Musical's dropped up the finish rate. I can see the
he's
dot,
dropped
but
it.
I can't see. Might be on board Cooper.
Cooper Benz. Yeah, and let's.
Right.
Oh, that's right in the middle of the racing line. Oh, he's gone. That was lucky. That is very lucky. Because that was right in the middle of the racing line. What did you see it? Did he
I saw the
rear tires, too much curb, and then spun? Maybe.
No, I didn't see a car physically. I just saw the dot on the track map. My guess is he lost it on the grass.
Oh, DPS also pirouetting in front of Toxic MW there, saying a little wave like Matsushita did for Kimi in Bahrain pre-season testing. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Cooper Benz. Quaker Oats has put his car on board, but Cooper Benz is having a big challenge of it. It's nearly 3 tenths up middle sector, coming into the last 2 corners.
He is. And we all know that Cooper Benz nailed it in the first
there's the rain.
run.
It is raining.
Oh, it is. There it is.
Right at the end of the session, but Cooper Benz is going to do it.
Does Cooper Benz do it? He does! A 1:03 flat! Absolutely amazing. 2 tenths faster than Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats does bite back, though. I didn't realise that. Quaker Oats did bite back, and he got to second with Sainz in third. That's absolutely amazing.
Only person that could maybe change the outcome is Spook.
800 sub.
He's invalidated and half a second down. That's it. Qualifying over.
Stretch is on 3 old laps as well as Braver. I don't think they're going to be doing anything. Toxic is coming into coming into pits, and also now it's coming down hard with rain. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean it's going to dry up for the race, or is the Q3 rain going to carry on onto the start of the race and then maybe clear up halfway through? Have we had any word from the drivers or engineers?
Easton in the chat actually said it would be full dry, so has it looked dry to you? Well, no, to be fair to Easton, it was literally rained with like 0 seconds left on the session. What a lap from Cooper Benz. Obviously saw him have that spin on his second run, but very, very nice pole lap from Cooper Benz, and needs it. He hasn't been on the podium since Vietnam, even though he has the raw pace. He's just been very unlucky this season so far. Maybe it could change tonight. Be on pole position.
Maybe so, and obviously with the standings that let me just obviously take you through the top 5 of Q3, which is first. Okay. Cooper. No worries. First, Cooper Benz with the Racing Point. Once again, my team, lovely, with a 1:03 flat. In second is going to be Quaker Oats in the AlphaTauri with a 1:03.2. In third, it's going to be RSF1 Sainz in the Red Bull, obviously our championship leader at the minute, with a 1:03.3. In fourth, it's Spooky with the McLaren with a 1:03.4. And then in fifth, it's DPS Racing in the Ferrari with the 1:03.4. Also, as you can see, from first to fifth, it is only 3 tenths in on it. Now, obviously, with the point system that we have so far and the accessibility of our championship, Cooper Benz is technically to us fourth, but obviously with it being a little bit behind on the website, which is very unfortunate. Obviously, technicalities, should I say? Cooper Benz could either be lower or even higher. But for us,
he
is fifth.
He got fifth last time out of France, so 10 extra points.
What did Quaker Oats did though?
Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats was. He didn't get any points, so.
So that means Cooper Benz would have been he's third. So he then needs to take over Camo, who's on 88 points, and then obviously Sainz with 142 technically. With the information that we've got.
Oh.
So Cooper Benz has got a little bit of going to get up to Camo, but then Camo has also got to be getting a move on also to get closer to Sainz.
Where was Quaker in Q1? Because I'm sure he wasn't second, was he? Because he had that
Why
five-place...
does it say that?
Well, he had the five-place good job, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because the Sainz. Oh, yeah. So that means
how is he...
he's dropped down. Has he not? Why? What does it say?
Oh, he was second, wasn't he? He was second, wasn't he?
Yeah, it went Cooper Benz...
Quaker, and then but obviously Quaker got that 5. Yeah, that was
5 seconds.
I was like thinking
he's 7th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot who the top 3 was in the end. Because I was like, Quaker was in 7th. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was second. I'm really sorry, Quaker, because that was a really good front row for you.
Yeah, that is very much true. Obviously, it's a little bit annoying with that kind of penalty because I believe it was only a scrape. It's one of those ones where it's like tire rubbing, and the game is so unforgiving.
On my screen, it looked more toxic hit Quaker, but when I say hit, it, as you say, they barely touched. I mean, Quaker's car didn't move.
It wasn't severe, was it? It wasn't anything. I mean,
toxic was on a lap. I think. I think that's what it is.
But then again, Toxic was trying to get the slipstream from Quaker and then moved a little bit too late, which is fair enough. But like I said, it was only a scrape of the wheels. It wasn't, like Toxic didn't get any damage from it.
It's like,
not from what we saw anyway.
It's like when a virtual safety car comes up, if you lightly tap the AI or someone
or the
else,
safety car in general, yeah.
It's 5-second penalty on the dot, even if it's not a major contact at all. Good evening to Source in the chat. What's up, everyone? I'm good now. My adrenaline is running at the moment. I'm running on 4 hours sleep and been up since 6 this morning, so mentally spent.
Any better? I haven't slept at all. But then again, I'm a night owl. So I'm a night owl, so I can, I guess, handle it. But I don't know. And I've got a monster sat next to me, so I guess that's helped.
I have a glass of water.
Oh, well, that's probably better for the health. Would you like to take us through? Yeah.
Oh, I can take over the grid because I'm Cocom this time. Right. Koala in 19th place in the Williams. Obviously, a shame didn't get the lap that we saw from him, I think, but he will start 19th on softs. Next 3 on medium tyres, you've got Blazer in 18th in the Avatari, 17th for Quirky Turtle in the Haas, 16th for Millsy in the Alfa Romeo. Odd one out, outside in this little group on the softs, is SRL Gasly in the McLaren in 15th. 14th is Swift Joe in the mediums. I was very annoyed with his qualifying. Obviously, he topped Q1, so I was definitely very annoyed with his effort. He'll be fired up for this race. 14th in the Ferrari. 13th is Eyes the Best on the mediums as well. Eagle in 12th on the softs in the Mercedes, then the 2 Renaults. Shane in 11th, the highest of those on fresh tyres. Then the top 10, all on soft tyres. You've got Toxic MW in the Renault. 9th is Musical Rocket in the Williams. 8th is Brave Container in the Haas. 7th is Quaker Oats in the AlphaTauri. Camo is 6th in the Racing Point. 5th is last week's winner from France, RSF1 Stretch in the Mercedes. 4th is DPS in the Ferrari. 3rd is Spooky in the McLaren. 2nd is our championship leader coming into this race, Sainz in the Red Bull, and Cooper Benz is our pole position man.
Just to point out, in the Racing Point.
And my Renault boys are 10th and 11th. Yeah, I get the point. I get the point.
And obviously, just to rub it in a little bit more, the Racing Point team are smashing it in the overall Constructors' Championship from all tiers.
Halfway throughout the season, it's a long way to go.
It's very true, very true.
Right, let's hope we have a clean start here, because...
That is very true. I've got to... Oh, no, the timesheet's going to go all over the place, isn't it?
Doesn't have to bear with it. The lights are not going on.
Apparently it's lap 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I love this game sometimes.
What is happening with Gasly? Gasly's car is moving. Gasly's car is moving on my screen.
It's doing the thing. It's doing the F118 glitch where it's like, oh, people can move, but some people can't. Why is this glitch still in the game?
Oh, there's the lights. This is a weird start.
We've got a McLaren who's maybe got a brake failure at the side of the track.
Lights out, away we go. Sainz has jumped Cooper Benz. Cooper Benz had a horrible start. Sainz is in the lead.
Amazing.
What's that Mercedes doing? Of Eagles caused absolute carnage.
Oh, there's a Haas spinning.
Was that Eagle?
That is very unfortunate.
I think that must be Eagle. It was a Mercedes that went flying up at the inside, caused carnage in the midfield, and oh goodness me, all flying into turn 3.
There's the wings of the other Haas, maybe the AlphaTauri as well coming into turn 3. They're all trying to sort out. Obviously, Toxic NW being right on the wheel to wheel. Coming into the big lock up from the Williams with the Mercedes behind him. Toxic MW finally gets past Shane after going wheel by wheel down that little tricky right-hander downhill. Jeez, it's turning into a train now, like a safe train kind of thing. But that was a weird race start with the McLaren being at the side, and then Spooky has got an amazing run on Cooper Benz here. Absolutely amazing run, but he can't quite get in front of him.
Goes. I think it's sorting
DRS, isn't it? Why is it lap 3?
I think it's sorting.
Either way, predicted strategy. Soft to hards hitting lap 12 to 15, then soft, medium,
What's happened to Sainz? What happened to Sainz?
Where are we looking?
Sainz was leading, and he's just dropped well back.
Yeah, is this the question though? Is this the... Oh yeah, no, he is. He has. He had an amazing lead on... He got the best start, didn't he not?
Right, we have a big issue here that I would debate about here. Gasly is a lap ahead of everyone. Which...
interval or lead?
No, he's generally look at the timing screens. He is generally a lap ahead of everyone.
He's in the midfield.
Yeah,
but he says that he's first. Well,
right,
he's on 2 laps, look.
Who's ahead?
Look at the tyre.
Who's ahead of him?
That's so weird.
It's the Alfa Romeo off Millsy. I just need to jump on board of Millsy and look back. I need Gasly to get on with it. Restart call, please. Restart.
Massively weird.
Restart, guys.
You're talking a restart, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had this before last season in F4 USA. Where...
Did we?
Yeah, I got kicked and rejoined, and then when I rejoined, I think it was one of the toxic... was either MW or CW was a lap ahead. So yeah, it's a restart. Restart call, please. Right.
Yeah.
Ay.
Very much. That's like I remember this glitch being in the F118 game so much. Like especially on rankings, you know, like on multiplayer and stuff. Absolutely.
Leave the lobby.
Unfortunate.
Leave the lobby. Because obviously they're just going to be crashing it.
Like me to pause or stop the stream, or do you just want it to
keep the stream going? We'll get a conversation going in a minute. This is unfortunate. Obviously, we're going to get the grid sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. We've definitely got pictures correct of all of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna have to.
That's why I'm saying, do you wish for me to start the stream so then you can actually go back and forth and watch it back? You got a screenshot?
Right, you're gonna relay it to the lobby host, Easton, for me, please. All right, thank you, Easton.
I will go on the...
He...
Oh... He was in the mid-pack, wasn't he?
God, where was he? We can find that out from Gasly. I'm sure he can...
He was out of Q2, no? He didn't make it into Q3.
Alright, thank you, Easton. It's good though, because I can stay here because I have the perfect thing to bide some time, basically. You missed it, okay.
We may as well just go in the showroom, go through, you know, some of the cars that's going to be on the grid today.
Well, what I have is a records book, which I keep handy just in case we have this situation where we have to restart. It's so it's like a little F1 quiz that you and the chat can take part in if you're interested.
Full of surprises there.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. I don't have chat up, but do you?
I do. I've got the chat up, so
that's perfectly fine then.
Yeah, we'll just. So Easton is very kindly one of our admins. He's very kindly going to do the grid. He's going to sort that out. I'm going to jump into the lobby. It shouldn't be too long. Obviously, we're going to get the race under as soon as possible. We had a restart last night as well, so good thing I'm prepared.
One big glitch that happens with F4 a lot is after we always do the formation lap, it just doesn't do red lights, and we have to restart all the time. That's happened around about 4 races, I believe, with all the races that we've had. But obviously, then again, I've missed 2, I think. So, oh no, I've not missed 2. I've missed 1, but then I crashed out on 2. Netherlands and...
Here's your invite for the lobby. Right, first question I'm going to put to you and the chat. I hope you guys are ready. And please don't Google this. This is, you know, just for fun after all.
Yes, don't cheat.
Goodness me. Alright, so this is... Let me have a look, see. So, yeah. So, you know, you of course must know the driver Michael Schumacher, Mr. Alco. Please tell me you do.
Wait, say that again, sorry.
The F1 driver Michael Schumacher.
Yes, of course.
Of course. You know,
we're talking about his son or the
Michael Schumacher. You know the one, yeah, the world champion one. Yes. You also know he had a brother called Ralph Schumacher.
I believe so.
They raced together from 1997 to 2006. How many times did both brothers manage to finish on the podium in that time?
As a whole, or...
So the podium has had both Schumachers on it since 97 and 2006 when they were both racing. Well, before Schumacher came back.
We're talking about like individually or where they've both actually been on the podiums at the same time? Hello? Our questionnaire man has now disappeared.
Right, sorry, you were saying?
Sorry, I was just saying, are you saying where, like, collectively how many podiums have they had each, and, like, collectively, like, overall how many have they had? Or are you saying how many times have they both been on the podium at the same time?
Same podium, yes.
So, like, if, let's say, Britain, they've first, second, and then Hungary, third, second, and third. Is that what you're asking? Okay, so not collectively, actually being on the podium at the same time.
Yes, yes. 1997 to 2006 we're talking about, so it's a lot of years, but
that's a lot of years.
Obviously, you've got to remember that obviously Ralph
Schumacher was obviously
took time.
in the Ferrari.
Yeah, Ralph took time to obviously get into a competitive car, so we got Joey saying 7. Any other guesses from everyone in the chat?
I might say higher. I might say 12.
You're going to go with 12, okay? Okay. Any other guesses from the chat? We'll give it another minute or so.
That's a lot of years. 2006 from
1997.
Did you say?
Yes, 97 to 2006.
That's a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say around about 10, 11. I could be totally wrong, but that's a lot of years. And obviously,
Aaron's saying 9. Okay.
Like you said, Ralph may have been in a slower car, but then again, he was there also. And you just got to remember, 1997, 2006.
It's lower than 65, Easton.
It's definitely
not
lower
that
than
many.
65.
It's not that many.
I'm gonna say 11.
You got to bear in mind that early years of Ralph Schumacher, he was in a Jordan, which rarely got a podium. I think they only got it once. And then obviously in the latter years, 2000 and you got to think of the times when in the early 2000s when Ralph was in a Williams and Michael was in a Ferrari, so both could get
but then
podiums.
Again, Williams was a podium kind of car back then. So
Easton, the question is, Michael Schumacher and Ralph Schumacher were racing between 1997 and 2006. How many podiums did they both appear on? 97 and 2006. So Ralph started in 1997. Michael Schumacher was obviously driving at that point, and it's still Michael's first retirement of 2006. Ralph carried on for another year, I believe, and then he retired.
But then that wouldn't count because obviously then Michael was out of the thing, so it doesn't matter how many podiums Ralph got after that because it's not like you said. It's when there was both on the podium.
Swift Joe says 24. Okay. Wait.
Could be possible.
Okay. It's 16. 16 times. 16 times they've been on the podium together.
So close.
Following on from that, in that time, how many times did Ralph finish ahead of Michael?
In the same years?
In the same years.
Time span.
So they've been on the podium 16 times. Out of those times, how many has Ralph beaten Michael? And spoilers, it's less than you think.
5.
Okay. Going with 5. Anybody in the chat going for a number? I believe all drivers are here. I think they're just sorting out the grid, so it could be underway very shortly, but we're just waiting. But Joey says 5 in the chat.
He's got I'd say 5. If it's less than the original 16, and then with the little hint of you saying it's lower than you think,
it is lower than you think.
3 is too low. Yeah, 3 is too low.
You think 3? You think 3 is too low? Interesting.
Don't try and sway me off.
You've already said 5, so.
I'm sticking to 5, but I think 3 is way too unrealistic because Ralph was just as talented as Michael.
At says 3. Gary Allbone says 8.
Don't let him sway you by letting him say, "Oh," when I said 3. Don't let him sway you. Whoever said 3 in the chat, don't let him sway you.
It is 3.
Oh,
it is 3.
Flabbergasted.
Just out of interest, it was Canada 2001, Malaysia 2002. And France 2003.
And I believe we are... Oh, sugar.
And we are due to get out of the way, so that is the quiz over.
We are. We could have one more, maybe. No, it's only 15 seconds, never mind.
I'm not going to get a good question in, so...
No. How many questions did you have planned, actually?
As many as it took, basically. There's loads in that book. I love that book.
No, I mean, like, how many do you have written down?
It's on the book. The book told me. It's not written down.
The book told me. What is it, Jumanji?
No, it's what's it called? It is the World Formula One Records 5th edition. It's every record, everything, up until 2009, I believe. The end of, or it could be 20.
Ooh,
No,
then it should be some like Niki
no,
Lauda
end of
ones in there.
2014. End of 2014 it was, and it's got
Probably
all
some
sorts.
Rosberg ones.
It's got all sorts. Who's the youngest driver to compete in an F1 race? Which team has won the most championship points in a season? Which,
Youngest.
yeah,
We're talking Max Verstappen or Norris, but then Norris hasn't.
It's up to
He wasn't in
2014.
2000. That's
it's up
what
to
I mean. So if
2014.
it's
That's the
14,
only thing about that book.
then it would be Hamilton.
I think so.
He was the youngest out of Petronas, wasn't he, and stuff in those years.
I think actually it might have been Alguersuari.
Who the hell is that?
Jaime Alguersuari used to be a Toro Rosso driver.
Oh, I didn't follow Toro Rosso back then. Didn't like him. They've grown popular in the recent years. They've been a little bit better.
Oh, the oldest driver is somebody called Eitel.
Raikkonen?
No, older than Raikkonen. Come on, Eitel Cantoni in a Maserati for the Italian GP in 1952. He was 55 years, 337 days.
Are we talking like still driving at that point?
Yeah. He competed in a Grand Prix 1952. He's 55 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, youngest according to this record. Again, this is up to 2014. Is Jaime Alguersuari. Toro Rosso Hungarian Grand Prix 2009. He was 19 years, 125 days, and of course, till Verstappen came along and broke that record.
Yeah. Well, when did Hamilton? Wasn't Hamilton 19 though when he joined?
No, he was like 20,
Was he 20 maybe?
22, 23.
All right. Okay.
Might have
fair
been
enough.
older than that, actually.
That's honestly fair enough. Obviously, Hamilton. Obviously, a lot of opinions have changed about Hamilton over the years. You know, with all the different memes that come along. You know, he does seem kind of baby fed by Mercedes, doesn't he? Like, you know, if anyone's in front of him, especially Bottas, he'll be like, oh, you know. And then that thing in Bahrain, Max should have won.
Yeah.
That really annoyed me.
Do you know the
really
smallest? Do you know the smallest winning margin of a Grand Prix?
It was a photo finish, I think.
Well, yeah,
Like
most
a
of
really
these were.
big, like photo finish. Like it was a bit madness. I think it was like what was it? Like a tenth? Oh no, not a tenth. Oh, sorry, a
hundredth. Yeah, it was
or
a
less
hundredth.
than? Yeah.
Exactly a hundredth. Peter Geffen in the Italian Grand Prix in 1971, and you even had 5 people, you know, separated. You know, they crossed the line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like really close to one another as well.
You know, it was, I remember hearing something about that, and I think seeing it. There's a clip of it, isn't there, in the F1
Put on the tyres, please.
YouTube, I think.
On the tyre screen. On the
Oh, sorry.
spectator.
My mistake.
All right, you're still learning. It's all good.
I was chatting so much, I just totally forgot to put the tyres on.
Right, I'll quickly run through the grid. Koala 19th, Blazer 18th, Quirky 17th, Millsy 16th, Gasly in 15th, then Swift Joey, Ice the best in 13th, Eagle in 12th, then the 2 Renaults of Shane and Toxic 11th and 10th, Musical Rocket 9th, Brave Container 8th, Quaker is 7th, Camo 6th, Stretch in 15th, DPS, Spooky, Sights, and then Cooper Benz. Now, because we had a restart, Alco, the annoying thing about a restart is everyone's on fresh
Everyone
tyres.
has got fresher tyres.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Downside
But
of
then
the
again,
restart.
that's still. But then that's still then. I guess obviously with the people who maybe like Braver, he did 2 runs. On the softs. But then again.
Yeah, saved them.
Yeah, but it does save him. But then again, it's also better for us and the viewers.
It's an equaliser, isn't
Now
it?
it's going to be really close. Yeah.
The outside of the top
Everyone
10 will
seems
be
to
a
be
little bit
very
annoyed,
spread out.
but it is what it is, so we have to do it. And fingers crossed we don't get any more issues. Normally we don't when we have a restart. That's the thing with
Yeah,
this.
everyone seems to like calm down and stuff, don't they?
One of the games, like, it resets itself, so you very rarely get issues. Fingers crossed, touch wood and all that.
Oh, you mean issues with the game? Sorry,
yeah,
I
that's
thought
what I
you
meant.
was on about issues with the drivers.
I know the drivers are going to be fired up. Let's hope they are.
Yeah, no, that's very true. They always get riled up, especially me after a restart. But then sometimes I'm very relieved with it as well. But this seems to be, once again, a very...
It's just a slow
very
start.
long wait.
There we go.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 red lights, 4, 5, and away they go. Cooper Ben's getting a better start than Sainz before. Obviously, we did the restart. Maybe that was a glitch. We don't know. But either way, Cooper Benz does absolutely get a flying start, already nearly a second ahead of Sainz. Spooky is also side by side by Sainz. It's going to be 3 wide coming into turn 3. No, the Ferrari tucks in nicely behind Spooky there. Spooky comes into second place, and whoa, Sainz does a spin. Sainz has spun. I don't know if that's any kind of wing damage on his car there. Let's have a look, shall we? It's a safety car, virtual. That will be due to the fact of Sainz of losing the back end there.
Yeah, seemed all clean throughout the field. What was the back half of the field anyway? Because obviously that's where I was looking. Looked clean through turn 1, but it was turn 3 all the action. You got Koala with wing damage. Ice the best with wing damage as well. Quite a bit. It just seemed they all squeezed up. Because of that tight corner, they haven't really spread out even past turn 1, and unfortunately, you've got a few with damage, and that's going to hurt for the rest of this. They might pit as well, take advantage under this virtual, and a few do. Very unfortunate for them. You got.
I'm guessing that's all the medium runners going on to softs. I'm guessing.
Yeah, Quirky's in, Koala, I's the best, and
Brave already got a
Waker.
3-second time penalty.
There goes the timing pages, as they always do.
Yeah, I'm waiting for those to sort the hell out.
That reset is cool.
Yeah, it's just weird how it, how it just does it. Like, what are you? Oh wait, we're back green. I never realised we're back green.
Sorry.
That's why the timing pages then went crazy, I'm guessing. Toxic MW was on the back of Musical Rocket there, gave him a little bit of a nudge on the back end, and SSL Gasly is on the back end of his teammate Shane, coming into the tricky right-hander, and Bravey Container getting another 3-second time penalty there, so that's 6 seconds for him. And is there any kind of these RSF1 stretch coming alongside DPS Racing? He's got the behind. He's coming up to. No, he thinks better of it, and he
Musical Rocket
slips on. By hand. Whoa, where are we going? There we go. Oh, nice. And then that gives Toxic a good run on Braver there. It's going to be side by side. Going to go on an onboard here. Braver has just obviously got half of his car in, but then Toxic's got the inside and nicely goes there. But then Musical Rocket and also Toxic has both of them have a big
Braver's still
Braver
fighting.
is wanting to fight back, but happily just nicely tucks in behind Toxic there. But I'm going to be guessing that Braver's not going to be letting this go, and most likely going to be getting them back both on the start-finish straight. Let's see how this kind of plays out here. Is he is on the gearbox here, but another 3 seconds. That's going to be 9 seconds added to his time there.
He's got to calm it down.
Unfortunately,
he's got to calm it down. He's going to get too fired up here.
Yeah, obviously, two positions taken away from him, and then that kind of suspense and adrenaline kind of thing will obviously get to him. He's going to be thinking going up the inside, but no, thinks better of it, and also slips behind him. DPS Racing is on the back of Stretch there, and he's going to be half a car in front of Stretch, and happily DPS takes the position away from Stretch before even the braking point. Absolutely amazing racing there by them two. Braver Container also migrating host. That's always good. He's the best. Has left the session. Are you
retired.
okay?
Yeah, he's
what, sorry?
Yeah, I think he's retired it. He's in the pits. He's way far back, and Yeah, it's retired. So is
Koala
Koala.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, I's the Best hasn't retired though.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
Still
No,
coming out
it's
the
just
pits.
he's lagged out the pits. Fully retired it.
Millsy has taken over Swift Joe there in the Alfa Romeo just before coming even into the last sector, as Swift Joe does come into the pits at the end of that lap. A lot of early pits here, obviously, due to damage and everything like that. Swift Joe gets 5 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane, while Musical Rocket... no, Toxic NW is behind Musical Rocket, is on the gearbox. A better exit there coming out of turn 3, which will get Toxic into the... Oh! Toxic happily and easily controls the car as Musical does squeeze him into the grass there just a little bit.
Braver again, 12 seconds.
Braver.
He's really...
This is going to be disqualification if he gets any more. I believe it's 15 seconds and upwards, I believe, is it not?
It's 30. 30 is the limit. I would know because it's happened.
Is it 30 now?
Yeah, it's 30. 30 is the maximum. And then it's, if you get one more after that, that's it.
So he still obviously has a fair few more penalties to go before he gets disqualified, but why...
Stretches on DPS.
Why risk that?
Stretches on DPS for third. Gonna again go up on the inside for turn 3, but we saw before, is DPS gonna get it? No, because Stretch parks it on the apex, doesn't give DPS
absolutely parks it, and then gets the better exit as well somehow, better traction. Absolutely amazing there, but DPS is going to be fighting back. He has got DRS, and Stretch does have a big lockup, but unfortunately DPS is a little bit too far back to do anything. Musical. Yeah, is side by side, rubbing wheels, giving a little bit of nudges. Obviously, Musical did, give some shoulders to Toxic on the previous lap. So Toxic's done the exact same to Musical, and Toxic does keep that position for now. But obviously, Musical is going to be right behind him, coming up to the two penultimate corners here. So Musical will have DRS on the start-finish straight. Our SSR, our Gasly, is going to have 3 seconds time penalty as well.
Musical.
And Musical tries to go on the around the outside there, but Toxic does conceal that and keeps the position, which is absolutely amazing. Cooper Benz 3 seconds in front of Spooky. Looks like Cooper Benz is going to have a race of his own, and Toxic and Musical still going at it. Toxic getting the position back into turn 3 after Musical tries to overtake him there, but unfortunately for Musical it didn't work out. But then Musical's going to have the inside. Will anyone lock up? Toxic does lock up, but then Musical does slot right behind Toxic instead of going for the dive bomb into that turn 4 there. Spooky with the 3 second time penalty also. Once again, Musical only 2 to 3 tenths behind Toxic MW. Once again, Musical will have that straight line toe, well, the toe from Toxic as well as the DRS, but then Toxic just gets an absolute so much traction. Braver 3 seconds again. Toxic does get better traction out of the last corner though, making it so hard for Musical to utilise that DRS as well as the ERS, because he doesn't want to use too much of it. It's only lap 8 over 36 laps, so he doesn't want to use too much there. DPS is... Musical overtakes him into turn 3, but then once again, Toxic gets a better traction. They're both going to have DRS. No, Toxic gets DRS. Never mind. Toxic then once again is a half a car in front of him. And obviously we all know that Toxic is a lot better into turn 4 when overtaking. At least that's what he's proved. But then, wait a minute. Musical getting the over and under there. That's absolutely amazing racing by these two. And it's only lap 8. What is going on? Absolutely amazing. Braver, though, with all this kind of battle in between Toxic and Musical, Braver is right just behind Toxic now, and for some reason Toxic has backed off of Musical. Maybe Toxic has finally realised that the people behind him, or the drivers behind them, are catching up, and he's thinking, right, okay, instead of fighting, use the toe. Blazer 3 seconds, as well as Camo, camo and laser guns do get 3-second time penalties, while Braver does, go wide into turn 1, coming into turn 2. Signs is right on behind RSF1 Shane, who is obviously the teammate of Toxic MW. Once again, Toxic MW, he's had... Oh, where are we going? What are we looking at? Toxic
Braver,
MW.
sorry, nearly careened into the back of Toxic. They're still going at it. I mean...
They really are.
You do have DPS and Stretch at the moment, but these 3 are kind of the closest on battle. Can I just touch on Cooper Benz? He is absolutely flying.
Steaming.
Up the top. Spooky's getting a couple of penalties as well. I just looked at the last lap times. Oh, Shane's in an off. Shane's in an off middle sector. He's off in at turn 7. Oh, that's really a shame because he was doing really well in the mediums.
Signs took over him there. I did see it on the. On the board here, that Signs did take over Shane, but I don't know if there was any contact. I was trying to get there before he did overtake him, so unfortunately I don't know if there was any contact or not. If there was, obviously Shane may clip it and put it into the stewards for when this race is over, and see what happens and see what the outcome will be of that. Once again, Toxic has DRS on Musical Rocket here, but then once again, Braver also has DRS on Toxic also, but unfortunately doesn't.
Oh no! Blazer's out. Edge of turn 1. I saw that with Swift Joey. Just gave Blazer no room on the exit of the corner. Blazer's out. Virtual safety car.
That's very unfortunate.
That was basically. I'll leave it at that. But Cooper Benz is taking the opportunity to pit under the virtual safety car, as does Spooky. No, so he will take the lead.
Spooky, yeah, he does take the lead. I don't know why no one has actually pitted. This is it's only a virtual, so it's not a full set, a full course. So that would kind of make sense for the soft, to keep going. Obviously, Cooper Benz has. I don't know, with virtual. With the
you
virtual
get a huge
Car,
advantage.
I wouldn't class it. Is it though? Because it can end. It ends like within like half a lap. Obviously, it can be a huge advantage, but then sometimes it can't. I guess it depends on track, doesn't it? I think. Like if we're talking about Azure.
We're going green again.
Like Azure Bayern. Yeah, we're going green.
Toxic and Braver for P4. Toxic running out.
That's very true. Toxic, a big lock-up by Toxic. Once again, they're going side by side, and they're gonna be clean. Toxic does give him space, and then Toxic. Braver does not give Toxic space whatsoever.
No.
At all. Toxic, like Braver could have gone way more on the outside. Obviously, that would have made Toxic obviously have the inside, but then again, that's going to get the FIA on his case, the stewards.
I'm going to go with the term. I'm going to go with the term Toxic couldn't disappear.
Toxic what? Sorry.
Toxic couldn't disappear. Like he was there and he couldn't, couldn't back out of it basically. Braver had to go
he had
wide.
nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if Toxic broke, it still would have happened. Maybe caused anything with Braver as well. And who breaks, so harshly? Because then drivers behind. Toxic does a pit stop. Shane gets a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, if Toxic just broke out of nowhere, then obviously. The drivers behind, it wouldn't have been good for them. But yeah, Braver could have gone so much more wider and kept on with the battling. And that's very unfortunate.
I'll leave it to the stewards, obviously. So
obviously, yeah.
Of course. So
fine.
In that virtual safety car, Cooper Benz, DPS, and Gasly all pitted. They went onto the hard tyres. So they're not pitting again. They're going to the end on that. Yeah. It's kind of a weird that. Oh, Braver, please, he's on 18 already.
Braver.
My God.
Also, with that, Braver not giving... I know you said leave it to the stewards, but then again, he had 15-second penalties. And didn't leave the space. Obviously, what is he fighting for at this point?
Science all over him in a bit. Defending heavily, Sainz should get the exit.
He was very close to Quaker Oats, but yeah, that's very true. Sainz should, but it doesn't seemed to
he's not
be
using the
that he
RS.
got much traction. Yeah, he didn't look like he got much traction out of that turn 3.
Well, it is at this point, even fresh softs, this is where they're starting to get to the end of their tyre life. But what they're trying to do...
Yeah, no, that's obviously true.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to extend this stint as long as possible to get onto a set of mediums, which we saw yesterday. Yesterday had a restart, so they have fresh tyres. So they can do a one-stop, medium tyres. It's still risky, but to do it, you have to take softs a long way. So even though they're losing a heck of a lot of time to Cooper Benz, who is catching up to Sainz on his fresh hards, it's the only way they can potentially win this race, because Cooper Benz is in the driving seat.
Yeah,
oh, Stretch is off.
It's nearly... Oh, there we go. What's going on there? Where's he gone off?
On the run up to turn 3. He was close to Musical. I hope there wasn't contact there. He's dropped well back from where he was.
Very, yeah, that's very true. Obviously, 2.5 seconds now behind Musical, making Brave only less than a second. A big lockup from Stretch there. Luckily, there is no damage for Stretch though, so then he can, you know, try and take these softs all the way to the mediums. But then again, with that spin, with the lockups, who knows? He may have to change the strategy to hards and do the overcut. SSR L Gasly here on the back of Quaker Oats. This is a nice little battle emerging between 11th place, and Stretch takes over Braver. Oh no, Stretch
in the pits.
Goes into the pits. Which does he go on?
Mediums.
He goes onto the mediums, so with the undercut on the mediums.
This is still an attempted one-stop. The mediums will be worn at the end, but seems the only thing he can do. And this
Sainz trying to go on the outside of turn 3. Unfortunately not. Braver gives Sainz the big squeeze. No damage done, but a little bit of a slight rubbing of the rear wheel and the wing there. Do you think Millsy will be trying to go all the way to the softs on the mediums?
Oh, problem with that strategy is he'd have to take those mediums at least lap 19, maybe lap 20, by which time the last lap of those would be very, very difficult. And then he'd have to take softs 16 laps.
Which is punchy territory, really.
Which is punchy territory,
especially if he wants to get, especially if he wants to get that kind of thing. And every single person from first to third have come into the pits.
All the soft runners.
Spooky goes on to mediums, of course. If anyone goes to hards, then I don't know what you're doing. It's very unfortunate. And then obviously Musical goes on to mediums also. But who will win out of this pit stop? I believe the people who have won out of this pit stop is going to be Spooky. Then it goes Musical. Then it comes Stretch, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, Braver, sorry. So Braver is the worst to come out of this, and then Spooky is the best and still 4th place and fresh mediums, while Millsy ahead, 2 spots ahead, is on 15 lap old mediums, and then just ahead of Spooky is the 4 lap old hards.
Well, DPS
as well
has
as
done
Cooper Benz in first.
DPS has done the undercut, and because he pitted under the virtual, he gained a little bit of advantage there as well. He is though on the harder compounded tyres, so you expect Spooky to start reeling him in a little bit. Gasly done well out of that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, the hards are going to be a little bit
Braver, please stop.
Please.
21 seconds.
I thought that was again. I thought no, but Sainz has got one now. That's gonna be a bit of a madness. Swift Joe is coming into the pits. Let's see what he does. But obviously these hards are going to be still cold, and their true potential pace. Oh, Swift is being held 5 seconds.
I think he had one. Musical on the outside of Gasly. Through turn 3.
Absolutely amazing. Musical easily overtaking Gasly there before the breaking point, but does Gasly respond?
Gasly's on the hard tyres. I think at this point it's just consolidation where what he can.
He's going to drag me along kind of thing. Give me that DRS.
Well, no, I think he's going to be hounded by all those medium tyres, beginning with Stretch, and then he's got Braver, although Braver's 4 seconds back, so... Remember, Gasly started from 15th place, so anything in the top 10 will be good for him.
Yeah, that's very true. Obviously, Camo also taking over Quaker Oats into turn 4 and 5, getting to 11th place. Gasly getting 3 seconds also. It's going all over the place today with the penalties here. RSF1 Sainz is on the start finish straight, trying to take over Braver. Obviously, Braver's been putting some shoulders out today in this race. One with Toxic, and now and then a few times with Sainz. Quirky Turtles gets 3 seconds, as well as Camo gets 3 seconds. Sainz tries to take over on the outside.
Sorry, Spooky's on the back and literally pushing DPS through turn 4. Sorry.
It's all good. That's perfectly fine. Shane gets 3 seconds as well. Spooky.
It's the advantage of the medium tyres is that at this point, you want to be on mediums. By the end of the race, like that 30 odd, you want to be on hards because these mediums will start to wear at that point. But at this point, all Spooky has Braver container again. Braver, you only got 2 more left. As a person that got disqualified before in Mexico, I would suggest you calm it down.
Mexico?
Yeah, Mexico, I got it. I got disqualified.
What corners were you cutting in Mexico?
I was tracking Sony more than anything. The middle sector, Mexico, was the worst ones.
So they're like the fast left, right.
Yeah, which I just really hate that sector, to be honest. DPS is right on the back of Millsy as well. Millsy's yet to pit on 18 lap mediums, and it's going to cause a little bit of trouble for these guys. Obviously running his own race.
True. Spooky might go for the... Oh no, Spooky actually gets a little bit of a lock up there, trying to overtake DPS, while Stretch goes on around the outside of Gasly into turn 4. Absolutely amazing. Does he hold it? He's got the inside, he's got the mediums, Gasly's on the hards, and he does. That is very close. Camo taking over Quaker Oats again. These two are having a little bit of a battle on their own. Camo's obviously got the inside. Is it going to be a carbon copy? It very much is. A very carbon copy of what Stretch did to Gasly. Absolutely amazing.
DPS is all over the gearbox, sorry, of Millsy in the turn when he got Spooky as well. DPS has got a good run out of turn. Well. Oh my god, this is a 3 big train. Is he going to go 3 wide? Is Spooky going to go onto the right side of the Alfa Romeo? No, he's going to be following the Red Bull on the outside of the Alfa Romeo here. And Spooky, outbraked himself.
For some reason, doesn't get a good traction there. Yeah, very much outbroke there. Obviously, DPS gets a nice little run on Millsy and overtakes him. Spooky trying to go around the outside, maybe getting the under and over on Millsy. It doesn't really work, but he's going to be right on the back of the gearbox. He's going to go around the outside to try and get on the inside, maybe, for turn 5. And is this 5 and 6?
6 and 7.
I believe it is. 6 and 7, thank you very much. DPS Racing gets another 3-second time penalty. People are going all out on the penalties today. What is going on? DPS Racing, 3 seconds. Millsy, 3 seconds. Spooky, 9 seconds. That's your top 3. Or top 4, should I say?
Braver, you got one more. He's on 27 now.
He just got another one.
Yeah.
27 seconds.
This is really...
I thought Cornish was bad. He's not as bad as this.
This right here from Millsy is really costing Spooky because it's costing him in catching maybe Cooper Benz, although Cooper Benz is absolutely... Well, he's gone up top. But he's also now got Musical all over the back of him.
Yeah, that's very true. Obviously, Musical. I've just been on board with him as you were
commentating
about this. Spooky, what's going on? He's got half a car in front. He's got the inside, but will Millsy do the under and over? No. The lockup of Spooky does a mistake for Millsy where he can't turn his car too much and goes off the track a little.
Oh, look at Musical. Look at Musical duck on the inside there.
Musical.
Yes.
That is very... He's trying, he's on the back end, he's trying not to hit that McLaren.
All stretches looking as well, but Millsy's going to pit. That's awkward. Just about made it.
Spooky looks really nice on the brakes here. But Musical is going to have the DRS and the slipstream from him is going to go on the inside of Spooky. Spooky loves to take. When doing a side-by-side kind of race, Spooky does like to kind of give the courtesy, but then
Brave is on 30 seconds and disqualified.
Disqualified, Braver. What are you doing?
Oh boy.
I'd love to see he's on board. Like, where is he corner cutting so much?
Musical's just swooped around the outside of Spooky. They're going out.
Very nicely done. It's very true. I wonder where, obviously Toxic, he's dropped down a little there. There's only 3 people in this field today who hasn't got penalties, and that is Eagle,
Cooper Benz and Musical.
Rocket, and Cooper Benz, yeah.
Spooky's in the pits. Has he got damage? I didn't see that.
Spooky's in the pits.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got damage. Let's have a little bit of an onboard while he comes into the pits, and let's see if he gets a wing change.
He does. I didn't see where he got damage from.
Neither do I. Maybe...
Not with Mills yet, I don't
turn
think.
3?
Oh, yellow flag.
Maybe turn 3?
Looks like there's an off for
flags.
Quirky.
That's a Haas. That's a Haas. That's Quirky Turtle. He's gonna be spinning it. Quirky.
That's a mixture between 2 drivers.
I'm thinking of Quakeros. Shade, 5-second time penalty. He's retired.
Yeah, he's had enough as well. Can I give?
The softs. Do you think he can take these?
Spooky in the softs. 13 laps, pushing it, but he's got nothing to lose. He's in 12th place at the moment. So
very true.
Gotta go
Millsy as well going on the softs. So Millsy did do it. He's done the mediums to the softs.
Yep. Will be a bit of a gamble, but it is fresh soft tyres. He might just be able to make it. Can I give a little shout out to Cooper Benz? He is absolutely dominating this race right now. Lap 24. I checked his lap times in that first stint at Alco, because he had about a 4-second lead before he pitted, right? He was in the mid-7s, like consistently, like 3 laps in a row, 7 flat, 7 flat, 7 flat. Spooky was in the 7.5s.
Ooh.
He was just on it. And on that first lap I noticed as well, he used up ERS so much, he was out of it halfway around the lap.
Is this Cooper Benz or Spooky?
Cooper Benz. Cooper Benz. Cooper Benz tactic from lap 1 before the virtual safety car was get out of DRS. And since then, he's gone. Completely gone.
He's just been within that 8-second gap. He's maintained that 8-second gap very, very well. Obviously, DPS on the same sort of strategy, which is taking the hards. And maybe the undercut, the massive undercut of the virtual has done this man proud. Which is absolutely amazing. It works for me in my favour. And you know, he's part of my team. We're gonna just gain more constructors points overall within all the tiers. So it's happy bunnies for the racing racing points.
Yeah, not a good day for my team, Renault, tonight. But it is what it is. Still halfway.
Well, Toxic, you know, yeah, you're like I said, we're nearly or just about getting to the halfway point of the season, and Toxic has been in the midfield. He always starts very solid within the you know, the top 5 or you know, the top 10, and then sometimes if he gets caught up in things, he will be.
Oh, Camo Quaker for 8th place.
Camo
side
by
side.
Once again going around the outside Camo so he can get the inside, and he does. He keeps the position, and Quaker does have to settle in behind.
Them.
But then there's Millsy on the fresh softs coming right in there due to the fact that Quaker and Camo have been battling so much this race. Millsy on 50% ERS.
Oh,
and then
Camo!
These Quaker roads. Oh no, where's he going? Camo! 30% for Quaker and only 6% for Camo. What's going on there, Camo? That's not very good by him.
Millsy nearly hit the back of Quaker there.
March. Yeah, Millsy's on an absolute march. Is Millsy
Oh,
going to
hello.
stick it into the... Yes, Millsy is going to stick
Can
it
I get
onto
two
the
of them?
inside, and he's going to get that traction.
Nice.
Beautiful overtake. Absolutely, absolutely amazing there. Double overtake coming into turn 3. Or coming out of turn 3. That would be... That's absolutely amazing by him. Quaker Oats may be responding, but then so may be Camo. Camo maybe trying the under the over. No. I's the best. Oh! I didn't see Quaker Oats there. Oh, I's the best.
It's AI car.
It's
AI
X's,
car,
yeah. AI, but trying, getting in the middle there could have been a fatal.
Musical on the back of DPS for second.
I just saw that myself. I thought Gasly was the one to watch next, but Musical Rocket is on the DRS with 80% ERS. See, I'm a very ERS saving master, I'd like to call myself. And look at that, Musical. They're both slow, really slow. Oh, a little bit of a touch with both of them there with the two front wheels. But then again, Musical does get the better traction. He's obviously got the better tyre as well with the DRS. He is a whole car in front. He has got in the inside, but then DPS is still trying to hold it onto the outside. Will DPS chuck it in on the inside? No, he doesn't. He does slot behind Musical Rocket there, and hopefully DPS can get him back on the start-finish straight, and if not, then he will stay in that DRS train. There's Camo, who is just behind Quaker Oats. Obviously, this will be very good points for the racing point. Even though that Camo can either only get like 2 or 1, it's still better because Cooper Benz obviously is in first place with the 25. Who's got the fastest lap, though? That is the question, and that is Swift Joe. Or Swift Joe. And Camo! What's happened to Camo? What's happened to Camo?
Oh, he's off middle sector. So we're going to get onto him. Just lost it at the edge of turn 8, I think that is.
Swift Joe. Let's have a look here.
You'll see it embedded in the... Oh, no, it's gone.
Is he gone?
No. And fortunately... He was embedded
in the gravel, though, right?
Yeah, he was embedded right to the gravel. Fortunately, for his teammate, that wasn't a safety car, because that would have been the worst thing for Cooper Benz right now.
That is very true.
So even though Musical Rocket is on the better tyre here, he's only 3/10 a lap quicker, than Cooper Benz. Cooper Benz is
just got another 3 seconds.
Cooper Benz is just in a rhythm right now. This is, I don't want to be a commentator's curse here, but this is his to lose. He has been absolutely on it all evening. If he does win, that would be his first win of the season. We'll have a new winner. I think he won a race last season, so it's not an outright new winner, but yeah, would have won his first race.
Yeah, that's very true, and I'm gonna possibly think he'll be definitely pleased with the drives that he's had today. Obviously, he took that gamble of under that virtual safety car, and it's took a virtue to him, and it's absolutely worked out. Obviously, Musical is getting that 8-second gap, like that 8 second just under 7, but then it's just creeping back up to 8. So with only 7 laps to go, he would have to be doing a second a lap faster to even just get on the back of the
Millsy's on the back of Eagle.
While Millsy is on the back of Eagle there. He's going around the outs, inside of turn 4, coming into turn 5. Will he go around the outside there? No, he doesn't.
This is former teammates of last season. They were both in the Alfa Romeo last season.
What, Eagle?
Eagle and Millsy. They were both in the Alfa Romeo
got that
F4.
Chemistry.
Yeah, so they know how to fight.
Really
Gasly's left the session. No, Gasly.
Oh no, Gasly!
Can you put on penalties, please?
Yes, I definitely much can. So, that's not penalties. There we go.
Millsy's got a ramp.
Yeah, he very much does. And he goes up on the inside. Will he get the better traction? He's obviously got those softs, which are only still 7 laps. It's easy. 13 lap olds, of course, like mediums, of course, he'll get that traction. So, if we're going from top to bottom, or at least the top 10, Cooper Benz, 0 penalties, absolutely amazing. No. And he's only... What?
I got kicked. Carry on. I'll come back.
Oh, no.
I'll come back. Come back, Karen. There's no stay on it. It's all good.
Yeah, so Cooper Benz with 0 penalties, obviously 8 seconds in front of Musical Rocket, or 7 seconds now in front of Musical Rocket, who's on 3 seconds worth of penalties. DPS in third with also 3 seconds worth of penalties. So DPS and Musical Rocket are playing for position. There's then RSF1 Stretch in 4th position with 6 seconds worth of penalties. SSRL Gasly in 5th place with 6 seconds. So Stretch and Gasly also playing for position. While RSF1 Signs is in 6th place, has only got 3 seconds worth of penalties, and he's only 1 second behind Gasly. And then Gasly is 2 seconds behind Stretch. That means if it keeps within this order and within this time kind of gap, that means Sainz will take over Gasly, meaning that Sainz will get 5th. In 7th place is Millsy, who's 6 seconds behind Sainz with 6 seconds also worth of penalties. Eagle, who has 0 penalties, who's only 9 tenths behind Millsy. This means that Eagle will take over Millsy. And maybe if Eagle takes over Millsy on track and gains to Sainz, that means Millsy will take over Sainz. Eagle will take over Sainz also. But either way, back onto track as it is. 9th place is going to be Spooky, who's 1 second away from Eagle, but he's got 15 seconds worth of penalties. While rounding up the top 10, which is Quaker Oats in 10th place, who's 1 second behind Spooky, and he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So as it stands, Spooky is going to be 10th or 11th as it stands, due to the fact that he's got 15 seconds worth of penalties, and Quaker and Toxic will most likely move to 9th and 10th place as it stands at the minute.
Right, coming back in.
Luckily, there has not been any kind of fights. They're all kind of spread out now in their own little stride. I'll tell you what, though, Musical Rocket, he's put it down to 5 seconds, and he's only 3 laps to go within this race. Obviously, with 3 laps to go, he would have to do at least 2.5 seconds a lap faster than what Cooper Benz is doing right now. Cooper Benz is on 21 lap old hards. 21 lap old hards. Yeah, that's the correct sentence I'm trying to pull together. It sounded weird. But yeah.
Cooper Benz, I think at this point is managing.
Yes, I would say the fact that he's not having to be, he doesn't have to go fast. He's not being under pressure. I'm pretty sure these hard tyres are only 60%.
Most likely. They might be a little bit higher than that, because he did pit relatively early. What was his tyres? 21 laps.
21 laps.
They might be a bit iffy these last couple of laps or so. But at the time being, as long as he doesn't lose too much time, he's managing it.
I'll tell you what, though, I bet you any money Cooper Benz is going to be so frightened about a puncher, because in France, he was only on 15 lap old hards and he got a puncher in France. While our race winner, Stretch, from last week in France, he was on 18 lap old hards, and not once did he get a puncher, or was he anywhere near the territory of that. So Cooper Benz is probably very, very worried and scared that he might get a puncher due to the fact of what happened in France.
Yep.
Speaking of our race winner from last week, he is getting very close to DPS into turn 5, 6 and 7. So let's see what RSF1 Stretch can do in 4th place and see if he can get on the podium. There's only 2 laps left now on to this race. And Musical has got it to 4 seconds.
Because of the penalty situation with Stretch and DPS, Stretch is going to pass and gain 3 seconds on DPS, but DPS is going to be in the same situation as Cooper Benz and Gasly. They're both. This is where the hard tyres start to get a little bit iffy, especially the practice I did earlier. Sainz is all over the back of Gasly as well.
Obviously, this is not a... Am I talking?
Yeah.
Yep, sorry. I thought my mic wasn't working there. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is obviously, you know, a lot of drivers are playing for position because they've got you know, the same kind of penalties. But obviously for Sainz, he is only, you know, he's only got 3 seconds while Gasly has got 6. So Sainz doesn't really have to take over Gasly, but I'm guessing he's wanted to do it for pride to obviously see if he can get closer to Stretch, so then he can take Stretch's position.
Cooper Benz has one more lap to go. His tyres look very, very warm, but all he's got is one more lap.
Very true. All he has to do is
Rocket! No. Rocket's left the session.
No! No!
They're back in sharpish. I really have hated this last couple of days. It's been too iffy, to be honest.
2 seconds. It's going down to 1 second. This is DPS obviously getting on the back of... Wait a minute though, this Stretch, who is trying to battle DPS Racing on to coming into turn 3. He is going to get a nice little run on DPS, but then DPS is closing up on the musical rocket here. And Stretch tries to go for the inside as a desperate lunge, but it doesn't really work, unfortunately.
It's going to cost Musical his podium.
Yeah, I will. Maybe, possibly, we don't know. He could. It's only like around about 4 laps, 4 corners left. This is going to be so close.
Put it on Cooper because
Cooper Benz, I've got to go on board with Cooper Benz, unfortunately.
Absolutely
Cooper
beautiful.
Benz coming up to the start finish, and he does cross the line. Now let's see what this penalty system. And I can't believe it. Musical Rocket is still in front of DPS. DPS is actually giving Musical Rocket courtesy. And doesn't overtake him. Musical Rocket in second, DPS in third as it stands for now. RSF1 Sainz in fourth, Stretch in fifth, Gasly in sixth, Eagle in seventh, RSF1 Millsy in eighth, Quaker Oats in ninth, and rounding up the top 10 is Spooky. Absolutely amazing race.
That is very good sportsmanship from DPS, because as you said, he could have easily overtook the AI car at the last corner, but he realised.
On the overtake.
He realised.
And the DRS, and he did, clearly he did realise, he saw that Musical did leave the session and just nicely tucked behind him. It's very nice sportsmanship. We love to see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
No showmanship here.
What a dominant... You got to give the guy a round of applause, Cooper Benz. He was not troubled. As soon as he took back the lead, I never know what happened to Sainz. Oh, never mind. No, he spun under the...
He turned 3.
Yeah.
He spun. Yeah, unfortunately.
And since then, he was not touched at all. Not even threatened. Just head down. That's the best I've seen him drive all season. Well, it seems obvious, obviously, because he dominated the race, but yeah, that's his best result.
No, obviously. Sorry, go on. I cut you off.
So, that's his best result. He hasn't been on the podium since Vietnam, so he must have woke up this morning and said, "Right, I'm going to win this race." Because look, he ain't got the fastest lap.
No penalties, no nothing. He hasn't got the fastest lap, unfortunately, but I believe the person who has was Swift Joe.
Yeah.
Joey.
Place.
Which is unfortunately outside of the top 10, so he doesn't get that point, or no one gets that point. But yeah, so obviously we already said the top 10, but for the 11th downwards, Toxic MW in 11th in the Renault, Swift Joey in the Ferrari at 12th, Eyes the Best in 13th with the Red Bull, Camo in 14th, Quirky Turtle in 15th, RSF1 Shane in the other Renault in 16th, LR Blazer Guns in the AlphaTauri in 17th, Koala VG in 18th, and Braver, who got disqualified in 19th. And I don't know what that flag is, but I know for a full fact he's not from there. Thank you for getting that, by the way. I didn't have to tell you.
Yeah, let's get in the top 3, and of course, I want to hear their reactions after today's race.
Of course. Hello guys, if you are connected, then it would be very much appreciated if you put in and include your audio. And Mr. Rubens, would you like to do first and third while I do second?
Okay. Um, right, so first on my agenda is DPS racing. First of all, welcome back to League Racing DPS. It's been a while.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Oh. Sorry, and of course you are still reserve at this point, but
Yeah.
judging by that performance, I'm guessing you've put in a good performance to deserve a drive in the near future, which hopefully you will get one soon. You must be very happy with that third place. Looked a pretty good one. Obviously, took advantage of the virtual safety car. Go on the simple soft to hard strategy. Obviously, the hards would have been pretty difficult towards the end. Yeah, first of all, yeah, you must be very happy about the race. Take us through it.
Yeah, had a good start. Don't know what happened. Jake got tapped around, which got rid of someone who I had to battle with. So it was pretty comfortable up until I had to pit. After the pits, just tried to make sure I wasn't using the tyres too much. And then, but at the end, had to push a lot. I was trying to catch Musical, but I also had, I can't remember who it was, down my neck, and my tyres were, I think, were like 90% at the end, and I was just praying I didn't spin.
90% at the end.
Yeah, I was hoping I didn't get a puncture. That would have been another
When did you
loss.
pit? Was that per
Lap
9
10.
or lap 10 under the virtual? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we've seen punches around mid 70s, 80s. So that would be very interesting. We did notice something. Obviously, unfortunately, Musical Rocket lagged out the latter stages on the last lap of that race. By the looks of it, you didn't use, obviously, ARS or overtake out the last corner. And I've got to say, that's very, very good sportsmanship to allow Musical to keep that second place. I presume it is the case. It looked on our screen anyway.
Yeah, we're in a party together, and as we go on to the last lap, he just screams, "Oh, I'm disconnected." And I was just hoping I've got someone behind me I've got to try and stay ahead of, and then I'm just catching him so quickly. I was hoping I didn't tap him, didn't get a penalty, and then when it came to the, just had to make sure I stayed ahead of whoever it was behind me, the Mercedes, and then just it would have been a bit bad of me to try and take a position which I shouldn't have been battling for.
Okay. Obviously, don't know whether you'll be racing next week or not. Hopefully, you are, but obviously, that's the life of a reserve. But if you are racing in Silverstone next week, it could be in any car as well. That's the other thing. What do you think your chances could possibly be?
Well, my track record at Silverstone is I end up spinning, so it's not quite good. But so hopefully I'll break that and maybe get a few points for the race.
Yeah. Very well done. Very done with that.
Thank you.
And yeah, hopefully see you on the grid again.
Thank you.
You finished, Ron?
Almost.
All right, perfect. And I believe now it is the second place, which is Musical Rocket. How are you doing, my friend?
Frustration is the words that I'd use there at the end.
Just bear with me. What car are you in again?
I was in Williams.
Thank you. It's just that I'm on the showcase, and I like to showcase the car while I talk to the talk to obviously the podium runners. So obviously with the qualifying, you looked very strong in qualifying, at least from what I can remember, and obviously that last little bit of the the very last lap. Obviously we saw what DPS did, which was very nice and not showmanship of him. Which one's the other one called?
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship. Thank you very much. Which was very nice of him, obviously, to do. Obviously, he's already said that he was in a party, but just take us through basically what was going through your mind through the whole kind of race, what you was thinking in qualifying, and also what you was thinking at the very last minute of that last lap.
Well, qualifying was an absolute disaster in Q3. I heard the rain coming, so I knew there was pressure, so I had to get a lap together. Invalidated both lap times, which would have put me in P5. And then I went in for another run, and it just wasn't good enough, and I started P9 in the end. But came through the pack all right. Had a few contacts. I usually do coming through the pack. Very strange defending by a few people, but you know how it is.
Yeah, I think we saw some strange kind of defending.
Yeah, I kind
some
of
elbows.
Gave some stuff back to those who gave it to me to begin with, and obviously, especially Mr. Toxic, who decided to hold me up in quali. So I decided to give him a bit of a turn in at a few points, but other than that, he gave me it back. So you know, it's hard racing. If you send anything, I'll send in my stuff as well.
I would like to interject a little bit and say that everyone at RSF1 are friends, and we all love each other, really.
It's like real F1. We get heated on the track, but then when we're back in the paddock, aka Discord, we're all good families.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, and then when I obviously lagged out, I was human. Probably gonna get a slap by my mum, but you know how it is. Cheers to DPS though, because yeah, that was very sportsmanship from him, from what I'm hearing. I'll watch it back and then obviously thank him some more and that. But yeah, other than that.
So obviously, oh, go on, sorry.
Other than that, all good.
Yeah, so obviously we saw, like you said yourself, we saw some questionable moves, some questionable defending. The one that we saw mostly was Braver. He was obviously putting some elbows out for Toxic, and I believe yourself as well, especially when it was coming to turn 4 and 5. How did you feel when Braver was kind of like defending against you and like squeezing you out?
Oh, that was just hard racing. The turn 4-5 battling was mainly just me going for him, if anything. The only turn 4 overtake that I think anyone did on me was in fact Toxic. So. Yeah.
So did you feel any kind of pressure, or was you just definitely in control of your car?
Oh, I was just keeping the car together, making sure it was all good and not getting damaged, and obviously trying to get past at the same time, which isn't the easiest of things.
Yeah, perfect. No worries. And how do you feel for the next track that's coming along?
Silverstone is going to be interesting. Hopefully I can show some sportsmanship back to DPS, depending on what happens. But yeah, me thinking about that, going into it, and obviously, depending what happens in quali, depends on the outcome of the race.
Yeah, and are you confident around the track? Obviously, you said that it may be interesting, but how do you feel actually around the track itself?
No comment.
Okay, perfectly fine. Well, either way, like you said yourself, hopefully you can show some sort of sportsmanship back to DPS in the next week's race, depending obviously if he is racing himself, and hopefully you can be on another podium. But other than that, matey, thank you for the race that you gave us as well as the viewers, and a very good race from you today. Very good.
Thank you, and thank you DPS.
Anytime.
Yeah, well done, Musical Rocket. Obviously, I felt very hard, broken when you like that. Obviously, the last lap, obviously kept the second place, which is very, very good. Where is your notes? Obviously, you joined F3, obviously in Canada, according to this. And got a second place there, so you've settled into F3 by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? Promising.
Very good. Good luck next week in Silverstone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Right, and we go to our winner, Cooper Benz, and your first victory this season. I believe you've had a victory last season before, so it's not your first RSF1 victory, unless you're going to correct me here.
No,
but it must feel like it, because that was absolutely dominant after taking the lead from the start, and you were just untouched, it seemed. Just yeah, no real issues, it seemed. I mean, obviously, like DPS, you took the advantage of the virtual safety car when it got called, which obviously extended the advantage even more. But even before then, you seemed to be on it today. Did that feel like the case?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised how quick I don't know, I pulled the gap too spooky in the first laps. I thought he had some issue, but yeah, then it was a quick decision with the VSC. Luckily, I had a race engineer on my side as well, so he just suggested going for the hards. And at that point, like lap 10, it was all about just, not getting a puncture. So yeah, and then obviously was quite alone the whole race. But yeah, still had to look out for no spins and all that.
Yeah. You've had, it's fair to say, an up and down this season so far in terms of results. Had the pace, I think it's been very unfortunate for me from my personal viewpoint. Obviously watching your races and commentating on a few, that you've had the pace to be challenging for this season. It's just been very unfortunate with the incidents. Obviously, there is still halfway of the season to go, so you're still not completely out of it. But you must feel a bit of relief having that first win under your belt this season.
Yeah, it feels good finally. I mean, yesterday as well, France, I had a pretty good race, but the weather report just pretty much ruined me a little bit. Because on the wet, I was first by a couple seconds, but then, it dried up. I put on the wrong tires, so yeah, thrown away the win. Though it feels good to win the race finally. And yeah, yeah, it feels good. And well done to the other podium guys as well and everybody else. GG's.
Yeah. Of course, at this point, Science does have a bit of a lead up at the front, but you have gained points on him this race. I think he finished up in 4th place. There is still plenty of this season to go. You're not giving up on a championship title fight, are you?
I don't know. All I know is he has a huge gap. So I don't know. I haven't really looked at the standings that much. I know I'm like 4th or 5th. So obviously
I think he'll go to 3rd behind your teammate Camo. Might be ahead of Camo possibly if my maths are wrong, but you'll be close either way. And yeah, I think it's about 60-ish points to Science at the moment, which seems big. But again, if you consider we've still got 9-10 races to go, so it is still doable. Especially if you've got any more good tracks coming up.
Yeah, of course. I like next one as well, Silverstone, so should be good.
Yeah, I was going to say you're looking forward to next week.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe you'll be back on the top step of the rostrum once again. Alco, any questions from you?
Other than absolutely amazing job, matey. Obviously, I'm a Racing Point myself. I don't know if you knew that. So that's just giving us a bigger lead in the constructors overall. I don't know if you know. Like you said, you haven't been really looking at the constructors or any kind of thing like that. With the points that you've got now, you would have 50, 60. Yeah, you'll have around about 70 points. Your teammate Camo is on 88. So that means you will be 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, Camo 2nd, and obviously Sainz 1st with obviously 100. So he has got a big gap. But like today, Sainz didn't get the best possible thing that he could have due to the fact that he did spin at turn 3. When you found out, or I don't know if you saw anything, but how did you feel when you kind of saw Sainz kind of drop back?
Yeah, I heard from a race engineer he spun, but yeah, I don't know how he got back and forth then, because he was quite a long way back. Even when I pitted after that, I saw him and I overtook him. A few
overtakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did a few good pit stops, and he did.
He didn't have damage then when he spun.
No, I don't believe so.
No. Yeah. Well done to him as well.
He did pit though straight away, I believe, after he spun.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
this will just. Go
I'll
on, sorry, go
try.
on.
I'll try. Try to get the best results, of course. So yeah, I'll of course not give up. But yeah,
Yeah,
see
no,
what
definitely.
happens.
Never give up, matey. Anything can happen, like you've seen today. Like, that virtual safety car. I don't normally put on virtual safety car, but you did a massive undercut and you won the race with what, like 5, 6 seconds to spare. Obviously, you held 8 seconds throughout the whole race, so that was absolutely amazing. But obviously, the Williams behind you was obviously on fresh mediums. Making obviously the time to go down a little bit, or the gap to go down a little bit. But yeah, other than that, matey, absolutely amazing drive from yourself, and our constructors overall in all tiers for Racing Point just keeps on going up, which is absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank
So
you.
thank you for that. Other than that, guys, anything else that you would like to express?
No, just congrats to Musical and Benz. And happy
Oh,
birthday
thanks.
to Eyes.
Yeah, GG's.
All right, perfect. Well, all the viewers that are still watching to the very end, there are your first, second, and third place of the race of Austria. Is it Austria?
Yes.
Thank
You even
you.
forgot where we were racing. Oh my word.
Yes.
We
You
might
were
not
there.
win it today.
Yeah, I was not even at the race, so I just looked at the highlights. But yeah, thank you for all joining us here today with Division 3 at Austria. Obviously, tomorrow will be Division 2, 1,
5. Even.
5.
Wow.
You get that.
It's my
Tomorrow will be
tier as
Division
well, so
5.
you got my own one wrong. Wow.
I'm sorry. I've only ever done
You're
Division
forgiven.
2 and 3. I'm very sorry. But yeah, so obviously tomorrow will be Division 5. And then Thursday is my division, and then I believe
F1 on
if you
Wednesday.
wish to join us, F1 is on Wednesday, and then F2 is on Friday.
Sunday. Oh my god, Alco. do you want me to do the outro? Do you want me to do the outro?
Yes, if you would like to.
Okay. Yeah, so you got F5 tomorrow. Make sure you join myself. Rogue is not going to be in the box tomorrow. It's going to be Magic Mark, I believe, tomorrow. So he'll be back once again. I believe his last appearance was Baku. So good to have him back. F1, as Alco said, is on the Wednesday. Is Blazer and Hippo for that one. And then Thursday is the F4 division. You'll see Alco racing, but you will see Spooky with, I think, Musical Rocket potentially, or it's Mega Centurion. Either one of them two will be in the comms box for them on the Thursday, and then we'll head to Sunday for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Make sure you join us for all of those for 8 o'clock.
Thank you very much for helping me out there. I've never bottled the outro like I have done
Wow.
today. You make me nervous, Michael. You make me nervous. You're the head of the comms. You make me nervous. But yes, thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. And yeah, please do join us for all the upcoming divisions that will be obviously this week, and obviously many more after. Have a good day, guys, and have a good night of wherever you're from.